Algebra 1, Lesson 2-7, Solving Proportions. Learning target, I can solve and apply proportions. Proportions, definition and key ideas, or idea. Proportion, an equation that states that two ratios are equal. A proportional relationship can produce an infinite number of equivalent ratios. Any two of these can be used to write a proportion. Key idea. If two ratios are equal and a quantity in one of the ratios is unknown, you can write and solve a proportion to find the unknown quantity. And thus we can use algebra to solve proportions. Example, solving a proportion using the multiplication property. What is the solution of the proportion 4/5 equals x over 7? So in this case we have two ratios that are equal and an unknown, so we can solve this. Now, in this case we have 4/5 equal to x over 7. Since x is being divided by 7, we can undo that division by multiplying both sides by 7. Actually, let's just write this as 7 over 1 is another way to write 7. 7 over 7 is 1, so it cancels out. Multiplication of fractions is straight across. 7 times 4 is 28. And 1 times 5 is 5. So x, in fact, equals 28 over 5. Cross products. So in the proportion a over b equals c over d, AD and BC are called cross products. In words, the cross products of a proportion are equal. The algebra of it, so if A over B equals C over D, then the cross products AD and CD are equal to each other. And of course, since B and D are in the denominator, they can't equal 0. Our example, 4/5 equals 12/15. This is because if we use cross multiplying, we'll end up with 4 times 15 equal to 12 times 5. 4 times 15 is 60. And 12 times 5 is 60. So we can see in that example that that's actually correct. Why it works. This is going to make use of the least common denominator. So we'll create a proportion. And we'll note that the least common denominator of b and d equals b times d. So we're going to multiply through both sides of the equation by the common denominator. So b times d multiplies on the right, and b times d multiplies on the left. We already have b in the denominator, so we'll cancel the b off. We have d in the denominator, so we cancel the d off because that's really 1. D times a is the same as AD. And c times b is the same as b times c. So you see that AD, in fact, equals AC. Example, solving a proportion using the cross products property. Cross products property. So we have the instructions solve the proportion 5/3 equals 3 over y. So the cross products say we'll multiply 5 times y and we'll multiply 3 times 3. So I end up with 5y equaling 3 times 3 is 9. Now I can divide both sides by 5, and I end up with 5 over 5 is 1, so y equals 9 over 5. Of course, we always make things get more difficult. The second you get comfortable, we make it a bit harder. It's very good for your brain. Example, solving a multi-step proportion. So here we have solve t plus 4 over 3 equal to t minus 9 over 4. It's a proportion with the variable on both sides. We're going to use cross multiplying or cross products. So I'm going to multiply the 4 on the right times the numerator on the left. So we'll put a parentheses. So 4 times t plus 4 equal to 3 times t minus 9. I'm going to distribute on both sides of the equation. So 4 times t is 4t. 4 times 4 is 16. 3 times t is 3t. And 3 times negative 9 is negative 27. Now you may recall the rule, we try to always bring the smaller coefficient to the bigger one. Since 3 is smaller than 4, I'm going to bring 3t over to the 4t by subtracting. 3 take away 3 is nothing. 4t take away 3t leaves me with t. I have t plus 16 on the right equal to negative 27. I'm going to subtract 16 finally to undo the addition on both sides of the equation. 16 take away 16 goes away, and I end up with t negative 27 and negative 16 is negative 43 as our solution.